So glad you're here, Aaron and Cece, sorry, and Kate Laro just joined. So now we've got a party. Glad you all are here tonight. I'm gonna be kind of quick, and then if you all have questions, you're welcome to ask questions. Because this is such like a weird time of year where, there are some students who have totally finished up applying, and then others who are just getting started. And so, I'll have information for everyone. And then there are others who are still kind of cooking up a plan, and that's fine too. But I've got information for everybody tonight as far as just like how to navigate like the next month or so, and the things that are on deck. So you probably got about 1 million emails and 1 million text messages from the lovely people at Tennessee Achieves. And we had our Tennessee Promise Scholarship mandatory meeting last Monday. We had it here at school. It was the very first time we've ever done that meeting. It's one that is usually done annually where students get more information and can potentially meet a mentor that would work with them for the next couple of years if they do decide to take advantage of the scholarship. So we had our very first one here at Crosstown. There was not one last year because of the Omicron surge. So it was really exciting to, of course, like have all of our seniors in the same space together. I always get excited about that because we're always divided up. But also to see them listening and engaged and kind of see the different light bulbs going off when it came to their post-secondary plans, whether it was anything that involved Tennessee Promise or not. Because there were a lot of students who just got their gears turning, whether or not it had to do with the scholarship. Anyhow, we had our meeting. It was not entirely clear on the front end what who was required to be there, if parents needed to come, and it's a bit of a learning curve since we haven't done this before, but I'm so thankful that all of our seniors were able to be there and to get the information that they needed, and for some of them to meet their mentors. So you see probably at the bottom of the screen, like, the deadline for submitting that scholarship is passed, but thanks to the incredible, amazing Nikki Wilks, who just popped in the room, one of our senior English teachers, all of our seniors have completed this scholarship. All of our seniors are eligible for it. It's something that Tennessee really gets right. So it's nice to have it as a choice, although, I know that it may not be, for some students, it may be something that they're totally leaning into. And for others, it might be one that they're really maybe not be considering for themselves right now, but it's just nice to have it as a choice, either way. So Nikki, thank you so much for working tirelessly to ensure that all of our seniors signed up for Tennessee Promise. It's a big deal when you take on that task of getting 109 students to find out their social security number if they don't know it, and fill out a form that online that looks like it could use a redesign, but you did it, and we really appreciate you, Nikki. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that meeting did happen. It seemed like it was really great. I just think that, like I said, a lot of students got a lot out of it, whether they discovered that there was something, that they misunderstood about it before, or something that they just learned that was new. So that was really helpful. So the next scholarship deadline that's coming up is December 15th. That's next Thursday. That is for this scholarship called the UT Promise. And you can see on the screen that this scholarship works for UT Knoxville, UT Martin, UT in Chattanooga, and the UT Health Sciences College here in Memphis, and then the UT that is located in Pulaski, Tennessee. I believe it's called UT Southern, but I like to be specific and put Pulaski there just so that we all know exactly where it is. So again, that application deadline is next Thursday, the 15th. As well as I understand, that application is really short. in the same way that the Tennessee Promise application was short. And I encourage all of you to encourage your seniors to sign up for that one. You know, it's different. It's different trying to motivate a student to maybe sign up for this one because it's much more intentional than the Tennessee Promise. The Tennessee Promise has so many eligible schools, and this scholarship is really just for a handful, and they all have to have the name UT in them. But this is a last dollar scholarship, which means that it will cover books, it will cover fees, it will cover whatever your federal Pell Grants and other scholarship like Hope Scholarship, whatever that doesn't cover, that's what the UT Promise picks up. So I encourage you all to, you can just Google UT Promise if you want to, just to read a little bit more about the eligibility. But it's a great scholarship that can cover, like I said, it's a last dollar scholarship. So it can cover, like I said, those fees and books, and basically pick up the rest of the tab, which is really helpful. So up on the screen, I've got this big word transcripts, because this is something that you might actually hear me say in Zoom meetings for the rest of the year, which is that those of you whose students have been applying to colleges, to four-year colleges, you're going to get lots and lots of notifications from those colleges in the next few months, that actually up until the end of the school year, that will say, we need your transcript. You still haven't sent your transcript. Please ask your school to send a transcript. And I promise that we send them. The colleges just are really, really persistent in those reminders. So I have on the screen, you can see there's the first transcript that we send is an initial transcript. And again, that includes the 9th through 11th grade courses and grades. And of course, their ranking and GPA and all of that fun stuff. And then I send that to your students' colleges when they apply. It goes along with the application. You know, colleges want to make sure that our students are working hard during semester 1 of senior year, that we don't have any of that senioritis going on. We don't have any students who are actually not coming to school. Instead, they're down in Tunica poolside. They want to see that mid-year transcript to see how hard all of our students have been working, and they want to see the classes that they're taking. So in January, like right around the middle of January, that transcript that includes 9th through 11th grade, as was sent before, but also that first semester of the senior year, that transcript is sent mid-January. The final transcript, and this is the one that colleges are really bugging you all for. They want to see that final transcript. So the majority of the time when you get notification from universities that don't forget to send it, we still need your transcript, that final one is the one that they want. And they send it out in publications and reminders constantly in newsletters. They want to make sure that our students finished and that they finished strong. That can affect scholarship money that is awarded. So it's really important that, you know, the students finish out and offer their best. And so that transcript, the very last one, the very final one, is sent in early June, and it includes all 4 years of their time here at Crosstown High. There may be a couple of students in our senior class who have maybe a course or two that they took in middle school that counted as a high school credit. Those courses, if that is the case for your student, those will be on all of these transcripts as well. I know that specifically on the screen it says 9th through 11th or 9th through 12th, but every once in a while, there's a student that has an 8th grade course that may be on there as well. So please don't worry that will be left off if that's the case for your child. But I just wanted to throw this out here because, I know that there have been parents and students who are really concerned, show up in my office and they'll say like, I got another email saying that I need my transcript, and we'll look at it together and I'll say, it's sent. They may not have downloaded it yet, or they may just be sending lots and lots of text reminders. So just know that you're doing your part. You're upholding your end of things, as are we. For the end of this semester, as we wrap up, the recommendations that I have for you all, if you have not yet finished the FAFSA, go ahead and do it. There are some families who like understandably are like maybe are putting it off or just haven't had the time, or you've got a lot going on. I highly recommend in the next week, 2 weeks, really make it a priority to finish the FAFSA together. There are some families who will think, oh, we're not a traditional family, our form's going to be complicated. It's okay. Go ahead and fill out what you can. If your financial situation has changed since, like in 2022, and you don't feel like 2021's tax return is an accurate record of like the real picture, that's okay. Go ahead and do the FAFSA using your 2021 tax information, because that's something that can be fixed later and can be amended later. But we just want you to go ahead and get those submitted so that way you can get the most money possible. And also filling out the FAFSA, some colleges require that in order to completely process your student's application. So filling that out will give colleges a better picture of what they can offer you and how they can work with you on bringing your student in and into their community. I also recommend for students who are still putting the finishing touches on applications, because there are those of us who are, and we will throughout the year, depending on deadlines. But I recommend going ahead and submitting, like, if you've been working on it for a little while, go ahead and submit in the next couple of weeks at the end of this, by the end of the semester, definitely, by the end of this school year. And that is if you have already been in the process of working on it. It's really nice to go into the winter break with all of that done. And, sometimes that works out really well for some students. Other students may have a lot going on. There might be, stuff going on in your family, and it's just not possible to do it until after Christmas Day, hypothetically. Set that goal to finish those applications by January 1st. Just having set a goal for yourself, a deadline for yourself, will really help finish those up. There are some seniors who are still like cooking up plans and working on them, and that's okay too. If your child is one who is still in progress, like has been working on applications already and maybe needs to wrap some up, let's wrap them up, because that way, you can go into your break. Everybody can, to just enjoy it. And then the last thing that I wanted to add here is that now is a really good time. And I say this especially if you are, if your senior has already completed the FAFSA, has already submitted all of the applications that they are planning to at this point. I highly recommend searching for some scholarships. And that doesn't mean that, you have to land every single one this week, but search scholarships in the college's websites, the colleges that you have applied to or your child has applied to. Search for scholarships that they offer themselves. And then I recently started using this accessscholarships.com. It's got a whole lot of S's there in the middle. but this is a great resource for so many different kinds of scholarships. And specifically, I didn't write it on here, but I will tell you all, specifically the blog section of this website is fantastic. If you scroll all the way down, and I think you even have to click load more, so you kind of have to hunt for it. There are sections that have scholarships divided up into different categories that are really interesting, ones that you would never imagine. There's actually one category that's just titled Weird Scholarships. And that there, I was talking with Ginger earlier this morning about how there's a scholarship listed for tall students. So that's females over 5'10", males over 6'2". You know, they exist. I know that Cards Against Humanity has a scholarship, and I'm not here just to like make you laugh about like weird scholarships that exist, but I'm just saying like the money is there. It's a good idea too for students to not only look at the deadlines for the scholarships, but look at the requirements, because there are scholarships that are no essay scholarships. But I do recommend checking out the essay scholarships. And I also will remind students that it's perfectly fine for them to take an essay that they've previously written and edit it so that it applies to the topic that's given for the scholarship essay. So I definitely recommend doing that during the break. In 2023, there will be even more scholarships that open up, particularly here in Memphis. The Community Foundation of Greater Memphis has so many incredible, generous scholarships that they offer. We had students last year who applied and received scholarships from them. And those are for students who graduate from high school here in Memphis. Regardless of where they're going to go to college, they don't have to go to college here in Memphis in order to receive the benefit of the scholarship. So I encourage you all to of course search now, but then know that there will be more that will open up. There will be another application window for more scholarships. This last recommendation that I have for you has some old photos on it. This is a really weird and hard time because we parents are having to reckon with the fact that the little baby in the backpack that used to go to school with me and be in my classroom as a baby now has a phone and takes selfies and has a nose ring. And, I'm just like in the background now. They're growing up, and this is hard. And I might even get a little teary talking about it just because this is a hard time. John Terrius, I see you here. John Terrius is one of our seniors, and I know that this is an exciting time for you seniors to be able to think about what's ahead, and it's a little scary. And I just want you to know that, like, even though we're like, there's this big age difference between you guys and your parents, we feel that same excitement for you. and we're also a little scared. It's real. So, I think it's just so important to be tender with one another. This time is short together that we have the rest of the school year. And I'm really hopeful that, you parents will cherish the moments, for better or for worse, with our kids, and really enjoy this as much as we can. I'll tell you that I'm definitely picking my battles very carefully, because this time is really precious. And so yeah, thanks for letting me share that part right there. But okay, I am so glad that Nikki Wilks is here. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna kind of pass this off over to you, Nikki, just to be able to like, can you talk a little bit maybe about senior dues and perhaps answer questions if anybody has any about the senior dues and events and such?
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks for letting me join y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was telling one of the other teachers at school this morning, I was like, somehow I managed to like escape all of these last year. And so it's kind of weird to be here this year, but I'm grateful for the chance to connect with you all. Before I get into the stuff that Ms. Keys actually wants me to chat about, I would just echo that idea of being gentle with one another. I hear the students every day saying, like, I just want to be done with this. And I keep reminding them that, like, I hear that and I feel that, and we're in this tired season. But I also want them to savor these moments because they're going to be scattered and they're going to have to rebuild the community that they've had here. And so, John Terrius, and to all of your students, like, be gentle with one another, but also like remind them not to rush this season away because it's a sweet spot for them too, just like it's tender and gentle for you all. And so I worry sometimes that they want to grow up so fast and that they're missing out on some sweet moments in the present. Um, I also want to say, like, those community scholarships that Ms. Keys was saying, the Greater Community of Memphis ones that come up, for whatever it's worth, that's how I funded my college experience. So like I went to a private college in East Tennessee, which was not cheap. I have student loan debt. But my first couple of years were funded from college scholarships that Maribel offered, but my ACT scores weren't great. They weren't horrible, but they weren't great. So I didn't have that like full ride that a lot of our kids are striving for. And so I supplemented my scholarships that the college did offer with local community scholarships. And so I had a binder where I had essays that I would recycle. I had letters that I would recycle with transcripts. And so I had the $100 scholarship here and the $300 one here and the $500 one there. And students are going to be tired of the essays. You all are going to be tired of hearing about it. But those little scholarships add up and can really be the difference between having to take out a loan and not. So, for whatever it's worth, like, enjoy the winter break, enjoy each other. But when those come out, like, encourage your students to apply because those, to be honest, are more likely for our students to get than some of these larger ones when 1,000 million people are applying for them. So, just my 2 cents to all of Miss Keys's wisdom. In terms of things that I have to offer you, I'm gonna try to do this in order of like relevance, I guess. Balfour, if your student missed last Thursday, I know we had a couple of students who said, I just left it on my dresser this morning, Miss Wilks. Balfour will be back in the building tomorrow during enrichment, right outside my classroom, Base Camp 5A. This will be the last time that they're in our building. So if you're wanting the formal graduation announcements, the crosstown logo to have for keepsakes or for your family, um, the last time they're going to be in the building is tomorrow. And so, depending on the cost of your order, there's a $60 deposit that can be done cash, check, or with the debit card on the bottom of the form. And our lovely friend Doug Kearney will be here to take those orders. If you aren't able to order tomorrow, because we know that just this is a tricky season, it's a busy season, you are able to place some orders online on the website that's in some information that I sent via Parent Square. And then if you wanted to go talk to them in person, I know some people are like, I really want my student to have their class ring, but we need to get sized for that. If you can't do that tomorrow, or if you want to be a part of that, because maybe that's a memory you want to have with your student, Balfour does have an office in Germantown, and they will gladly welcome you to that office to wrap things up there. So that's happening tomorrow morning. During enrichment, students can bring in their orders. Any questions about Balfour graduation announcements, things of that nature before I keep trucking along in my list of reminders? See ya, John Terriers. Okay. So Balfour is the first big thing with a deadline, and y'all, that, like I said, especially those announcements, that was the thing families wanted, and students didn't get those packets home or they missed the reminder. And so we were getting emails and calls in April and May. If you don't do the announcements now, Mr. Kearney is great and will order some extra that you can order like one by one from him. But we're still in like supply chain issues, paper issues. So it's really, really important. If you want the official ones, that you go ahead and order those now or make arrangements with Balfour, because we can't guarantee that we'll have any for you to purchase in April or May closer to the date. The next thing that we've been getting questions about are senior portraits. We did the ones for the yearbook during disorientation back in August, and then we've caught some students who have joined us later in the semester as we've gone along, because Jamie Harmon has been fabulous about that for us. I know now that I'm saying this out loud, I have one more that I need to get squared away. But if you're wanting more of an extended like portrait session, maybe like what you had when you were in high school or what you've seen other students have at other schools, Mr. Harmon is our official Crosstown High senior portrait guy. His Calendly link is in Parent Square. If you need that, we can get it to you again. But if you weren't happy with that portrait that was taken for the yearbook, or if you're wanting more options to stick with graduation announcements or with thank you cards, or however you want to do that for you and your student, you can sign up with him. You don't have to use him, but if you're wanting to switch out the picture that goes in the yearbook, then you do have to use him. If you're using someone else just because you're fine with the yearbook picture, you just want other pictures for your stuff, let us know. We're happy to loan you out a cap and gown and stuff so that you can have some of those more traditional portraits. But that's how that's working.
Hey, Nikki, the yearbook picture, I feel like it came at some point, but now I can't remember where I would have seen that. Where?
Okay. Miss Liz Phillips and the yearbook crew sent students personalized links to the portrait gallery that Jamie Harmon set up. And then students selected their picture and dropped them in a folder for the yearbook staff. So if you ask your students to search their email, that's how you would find those. Great question, Ginger, because I had not remembered that. But yes, they got personalized emails. If any student says that they didn't get that, please reach out to me or Miss Liz Phillips, so that we can find that and get that to them. I do know we had some yearbook staffers that were out sick that week, and so some got sent out a little bit later than the original batch, but all students received an email with a link to the portrait gallery, and then there was a form with a folder where they dropped the picture that they wanted to go in the yearbook there. But I do know we've had some students who they didn't love their picture, or maybe folks at home didn't love their yearbook picture. Maybe they forgot it was yearbook picture day. So if you're wanting that picture replaced, you would coordinate that with Mr. Jamie Harmon in his Calendly link. The deadline to swap out for a yearbook is Friday, January 20th after winter break. Okay, so we know with the holiday season, it might be tricky if you haven't already gotten that scheduled with him. So we're trying to give you some leeway on the other end, but we really need to get those wrapped up for yearbook by January 20th. Speaking of yearbooks, yearbooks is this weird thing. We've been having lots of conversations around them. Are they still something that's relevant to students? Are they just a memory book for families? What are they? But we still believe in them. We have a class that's working really hard with Miss Phillips on the yearbooks. And so if you would like a yearbook for your student, they are on sale for $45 until next Friday, December 16th. And then after winter break, that price will go up. So it is good for everyone involved to go ahead and order those now versus waiting until later, just to save yourself some dollars and to make sure that you've secured your book. Also with yearbooks, there's an opportunity for senior ads. So if you want some sort of shout out or some sort of like, I don't even know what to call these, y'all, because when I was in school, we didn't have like full-blown page senior ads. We just did senior baby pictures. But if you want any sort of like tribute to your senior and like some sort of reminder of like, we're proud of you, look at all you've done in the past 4 years of high school kind of thing. The deadline to order those is Tuesday, January 31st when we get back from break. But the prices will increase. So again, that's something that it'd be awesome if you're able and want to do it to get that done by next Friday, just so it's off your plate and you can enjoy winter break. But if you can't, then you've got till the end of January to do that. Again, in Parent Square, there's a document that outlines the price breakdown, etc. You could even go online tonight if you wanted to. You could order your yearbook and order your senior ad all on the same website, put it all in your cart, pay for it all at once if that's what you wanted to do. Senior dues, we've had some questions about those as well. My apologies for the confusion. We were really hoping that we were going to have, I think it's called School Cash, up and running, but because that's something we're coordinating with the district, it's just taking us a little longer to get it off the ground. And so we are accepting senior dues via Venmo or cash and check. Students can go see Miss McCann down on the first floor during their lunch period, and she will accept cash or check. You can also do it in installments if that's easier for you and your family. The cost for senior dues is $120, and that's due Friday, March 3rd. It includes coverage of their cost for their yearbook picture. It includes a class shirt that they'll get in the spring, their cap and gown, which we'll be sending out a form to get their like height and weight so that we can get those ordered with Mr. Kearney soon, their diploma covers, and some other miscellaneous graduation expenses. So $120 either via Venmo, or if you prefer to do cash or check, you can send that with your student and they can go see Miss McCann during their lunch period, and she will receipt that for them and make note. And then, like I said, if it's easier for you and your family to pay in installments, like we are totally cool with that. We're just trying to get all the money in by Friday, March 3rd before our senior retreat so that we know we've got money in the account to take care of those retreat expenses, which more info will be coming about that after the winter break. I think those are the main things, at least involving money. The other thing that I would just remind y'all of, we put it on Instagram, is that all work for Q2 is due by this Friday at 3 p.m. I know that no one wants to necessarily hear that or talk about that. We want to talk about all the fun things, but it is a practical thing that we just want to remind our students. I know the thing I've been echoing to them is I grade in Canvas, not in email. So a lot of times students will want to like slip it into the inbox at 3:05 because it's locked in Canvas. And we're trying really hard to prepare them for their post-secondary goals and the fact that there are hard deadlines and we may not like them, but they're real. And so one way we're doing that is this 3 p.m. cutoff on Friday. So please just check in with your students to see that they're doing that, because like Miss Keys said, the colleges will get that mid-senior year transcript in January, and sometimes that'll even trigger some scholarship notifications, some invitations to campus for scholarship interviews for more specialized campus-specific scholarships. So we want to make sure that those grades are strong there, and that they just aren't like getting senioritis a little too soon. So please check in with them about that. I think that's everything I had, but if you've got questions, please let me know, or Ginger, Leah, if I've forgotten something.
Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. That was really, really helpful. I know that those questions have come up a lot for parents of seniors in the past few weeks, and this will be really helpful for them to have this information. Do you all have any questions that you'd like to ask before we sign off? You can either put them in the chat or unmute yourself and speak up. Either one is fine.
Very informative. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Erin. Shaquana, I know you just hopped back on. I just want to let you know we're taking questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you. Something happened to my
Oh, it's all right. I totally understand.
I forgot my question. I think oh, is Zelle or Cash App, that's not acceptable for
No, unfortunately,
okay.
we only have a Venmo account for digital transactions. That like they were saying, this school cash online is the thing that we are pouring all of our energies into in terms of being able to do easy digital processing of payments. But that is just not ready yet. So for now, cash, check, or Venmo.
Okay. All right. I'll figure something out. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that's it.
All right.
Nancy,
Go
I saw you come off mute. I don't know if you had a question or not, but I know I saw you try to come off mute maybe.
All right. Going once, going twice. Nancy, did she have a question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
The pictures that were taken for the senior, for the yearbook, are we able to purchase those? Because I understand now that Adam probably got an email and I hadn't seen the proofs of the picture that will go in the yearbook. Is that something that we're able to purchase like we have in years past?
So I think Nancy and Leah, I hate to do this to you, but you might be able to help here. I think that our arrangement with Jamie is that the way he's got those displayed, you can download those and send them to a printer if you would like, because the cost of that is included in the senior dues. So if you can get Adam to forward you that email, or if you remind me, I can get that link from Miss Liz and send it to you directly. And then because of our arrangement with Jamie, they're downloadable so that you could print whatever you wanted, as many copies as you wanted to send to family and friends. Is that correct, Leah?
Yes, yes. And yeah, with that download, you can print it, you can do Walgreens order to print or wherever is most convenient
Okay.
for you. The only like insider info that I have for you all when it comes to that is that if you do decide that you would like to have, like something really large, like what's behind me, like a really, really big one, just ask Jamie and he may have some suggestions for you as far as how to go about that, because he knows a thing or two about where to print if it's going to be like a really big large format one, like something behind me. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right, all the party people, any further questions we may have to table in my email inbox, leah.keys@crosstownhigh.org. Hey, thank you all so much for sharing your evening, part of your evening here, but also for sharing your kids with us, because it's a really special thing to get to walk this path with them and with you all too. So please, again, don't ever hesitate to reach out, and thanks for coming tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.